This is the install video for our newest update of the +2 mag extensions for the M&P. We have updated the screw size to a larger screw that takes a 1/16 Allen wrench. The smaller Allen wrenches would wear out quickly, so we decided to try to up the screw size for more reliability. Most people didn't have issues with the old one, but there was enough issues that these small screws, it needed to be updated. So the stock base plate, this is actually one for the compact, and this is a full-size mag, but stock base plate is designed to the size and shape of the frame, where the mag wall is designed to funnel the mag into the frame. So unfortunately, you can't use these stock plates with our mag wall. Any mag wall that would accept the stock plates means that there would be a very big flat on the inside of the mag wall all the way around that could easily stop your mag changes. So that's why it does require our plates or extensions, not because we want to sell you extra parts, just because in order for it to work properly, it has to be that way. To remove the stock base plate, you can use the wrench or the tool that you take out of the back of the frame when you install our mag well. Push it in and then slide this forward. Some of the base plates will have a metal locking plate on there that'll have a tab in the center, and then it'll have a hook on the back that's hooked around the spring. You just turn that sideways to pull it off of the spring. The mags are disassembled. If you do buy our extra coil springs, the way to get those off, if you have a pair of pliers, it's easiest to grab the edge of the spring there, pull it out, and push down with some pliers. I don't think I have any around me. You do not need the extra coil springs with the +2s. They have enough pressure with the stock springs that it will lock the slide back properly. Never any feeding issues or anything, but some people do like to upgrade their springs to the extra coil when doing this. So just grab the edge of the spring that is hooking in there, pull it up and pop the spring off, and then the new spring you can easily slide on there. You can also use a screwdriver, small screwdriver, to pull it up enough to get out of there and then pull it off, and then the new spring you can push right on just like that, and it should pop into the hole if you have it aligned easily. After that's done, we do recommend that you use a little bit of Loctite. I don't have my small Loctite container here right now, but I do have a old bottle, so I'll put just a little bit right there. And then after, these screws will be in the mag well, just like that. They'll be sticking out a bit. So if you take them out of the extension, not mag well, sorry, get just a tiny dab of Loctite on there. Even that is a little bit much. Might wipe off a little bit. You don't want too much on there, because if you do need to take them apart, the more Loctite on there, the more they're going to be seized up. I would turn to the left until you feel it drop a little bit, and then start turning to your right. Tighten them all the way to where they're just underneath that surface there. You don't want to bottom them out into the hole. You just want them in order so that the mag body will clear that hole. Same thing to the other side. Just a dab. Turn it to the left till you feel that drop, and then start to turn it to the right. Just till it's under that surface. and you can check it before you put the spring on there, or put it, put the mag with the spring in there. Make sure that it slides on there. If you're getting too much resistance, try to lower those screws another turn. Try it again. Now this mag itself, I believe, is a bit tight. I don't think it's all resistance on the screws, because the screws are down far enough. Some mags will be tighter than others. Take these screws out of this one, show you. This mag body itself is just very snug, where this mag is even tighter. But this mag over here much looser. So the mags can be a little bit different. We like them a bit more on the tighter side than the super loose side, so it will not hurt anything if yours is a little bit looser or if yours is a little bit tighter. Either way is fine, but just know some mags may take a little bit more pressure to get on there as they have a little bit more resistance. This is my extension with the screws in it. They're hard to see because they're under the surface. Hold the spring all the way down and then put the front of the extension on the back of the mag and slowly start to work it into the rails and work it forward. Now with the +2s, springs aren't usually an issue. Well, I've never had an issue with the spring on the +2, so you hear that click of the spring popping down into place. On the +6s in that video, I'll show you what can sometimes happen with those. But +2s, after it's pushed all the way back, stick your wrench in the hole and now start to back them up a little bit. And you only want them to the tip of that lower section that surrounds the screw. Any higher than that, and you can start actually binding with the magwell itself, because these larger screws have to be, out a little bit wider. So you do not want them any higher than that shelf. All it has to do is just capture that mag rail, which is very, very thin. I believe it's, forget if it's 30 thou or 40 thou thick. So once it's on there, it's not going anywhere. That is nice and tight, and then it will fit inside of our magwell. Goes in, it should click by hand just like that. Sticks out just enough so you get nice, easy mag changes. If you are having trouble pushing it in with an empty mag, I would make sure those screws are not sticking up too far. Next thing, I would make sure the magwell is installed correctly. The full size isn't usually an issue. It's usually the compact polymer frame that the front of it can be down just a little bit. You look seated all the way, but sometimes it takes just a little bit more pressure. I usually recommend smacking our logo with a rubber mallet or the rubberized grip of a hammer, just a few good whacks, and then try the mag again, and everything should work fine. Other thing, if you're using an aftermarket mag release, that can change the actual position of which the mag is being held. So some of them do not work with our magwells because it makes the mag sit up a little bit higher, which causes issues when you're trying to have a nice tight tolerance with the magwell end plate. All right. So I'll show you these again. Remove the screws that are already in there. The mag extensions will come with extra screws in a separate bag. Those are not, the ones that you need for the extension because it already has them in the extension. So after you've added a little bit of Loctite, make sure you are lined up properly with the hole. Turn to the left until you feel it drop, and then start to turn to the right. If it is not easy to turn to the right, then turn to the left again until you feel it drop again. Sometimes it can feel like it's in the thread, but it isn't quite, and it could try to cross thread if you try to force it. All of these have had the screws put in before you've gotten them, so the threads are good. So you just need to make sure that your wrench is aligned. If it's, off to tilted one way or the other, then it's not going to go into the hole properly. So just take it slow, take it easy, and everything will work. Just make sure that you're paying attention. Make sure that that is underneath the surface there, both sides, so that that slides on nice and easy. Again, push the spring all the way down into the mag body, and then you can push that last bit with the extension. Start to slide it forward to where it starts on those rails, and then you can push it the rest of the way forward. So when you didn't hear as much of an audible click, you can push this back, make sure the spring's down there. That spring looks like it's good and bottomed out. Push it all the way on, and then again, back the screws out about 3 to 4 turns. Just so that it's level with that surface there. Don't want it any higher than that lower surface that surrounds the screw head and protects it. And that one fits the compact. This is the compact metal frame. We customized the slide, did our enforcer porting, and this is the Defiance design. This is the 5-inch full size. This is our Poseidon design. Also our enforcer porting. This is the older style enforcer with the 3 windows, or the 3 ports. The newer has the 2 ports, and the newer is more effective. So we discontinued doing it like that. You can request it that way, but the new style porting is more effective, and this is actually more effective than our Commander porting, which is both top and sides. Top ports reduce the muzzle rise, while the side ports reduce the recoil impulse, which leads to most of the muzzle rise in a pistol. So doing this actually reduces more muzzle rise and recoil than the Commander porting. There you have it. That's the +2s for the M&P.